So, now that episode 19 of The Power of Two released a good while ago, and the hype and utter shock from the community has kind of died down, I thought it would be a good time to share my thoughts and to make for a good first video. This channel will focus mostly on OSC reviews or OSC adjacent content, but I yap for hours about whatever I'm invested in, so who knows? Maybe expect a good old-fashioned movie review in the future. I'm Rhodonite, and let's get into the video. So, Tpot 19 was an episode that caused an uproar in the OSC lately due to its sheer shock value stemming from its darker theme. The episode was clearly strategically planned to release at BFDI and II's 2025 collab tour, which I am proud to say I went to, or mayhaps ashamed to say because I left the state for object shows, but it depends on how you see it. Why is my printer printing, bro? I just want to record. Why is it printing? The beginning of the episode was some serious whiplash considering how silly and pretty bad the last one was.
Lock in.
But I like the time rift thing coming back into play in the beginning with one. Two's decision on how to deal with this feels a bit reckless though, but I guess it's fine because he's not in the best mental state right now. Speaking of that, we get an angsty flashback scene about his guilt over losing Gady, which I enjoyed, but it did feel a bit overplayed, like fan service. I don't know, it just felt overly angsty for something in the BFDI universe. I can't be talking though, I'm no professional writer, I'm just some girl recording a yap session about a children's show that I will defend with my life under a blanket because I'm too broke to buy a microphone. As for the elimination, I wanted Snowball to stay in instead of Grassy, but I'm actually pretty indifferent now because they used Grassy very well to show how sad and desperate the contestant's situation was from the point of view of a child. They showed him trying to cling on to people following the loss of his friend to add more depth to his character, which I really appreciated considering he was pretty one-note beforehand, and this makes you really sympathize with him. The gruesome fight to the death plot is certainly a choice, but at least it's fitting for the episode, and it works with TV's elimination. Watching the challenge play out was fascinating. It's like one of those things where it's so dark, at least for BFDI standards, that you just can't look away. The stakes are higher considering the loss of access to the recovery. Gosh darn it, my printer is printing again. The stakes are higher considering the loss of access to the recovery center, and it's overall just very attention-grabbing. I like the moment where Penn watches Pencil from the window, imagining her as who she was in BFDI, and she takes joy in this and tells him to run. Lai's killing spree was terrifying, and I like the return to the Exiters. What I didn't like was Purpleface. I cannot overstate how much I don't want Purpleface to become a major character this season. But that aside, I really did enjoy Donut and One's second confrontation. One is animated in a way that makes her look uniquely psychotic. Shout out to whoever animated her in the scene, by the way. And the more unsettling color palette and harsh blue lighting in her room really emphasizes her derealization and threatening presence. It's so well done. This challenge was dramatic and chilling through and through, but the highlight of the episode for me is the challenge's ending. Pencil's hatred for Four manifests so dramatically in their short battle, and though some may call it corny, I really like the moment where she sent him flying off the building like Scar from The Lion King, only to have One take him away. Pencil sitting atop the hotel all depressed and trying to recover Lai is a nice way to show that she has a bit of remorse, and One's manipulation is masterfully written and voice acted. It makes a lot of sense that she'd take advantage of Pencil, a character who is shockingly similar to her in a few ways. They both ended up in a bad spot after ruining things with their former friends, Pencil with Free Smart and One we can assume with the other Algebralians. They were both isolated and trapped by Four specifically, One imprisoned in the moon and Pencil stuck in eternal algebra class. And the trauma from their entrapment drove them both off the rails, turning them both into cruel people. Their similarities fascinate me, but one major difference between the two, however, is that Pencil has a lot of remorse and One can easily take advantage of that, offering her a chance to change her past. She uses Pencil's fear of being eliminated to manipulate her first, stating that she was scared for her because she only got the second most votes to join, which is made even more powerful when you remember that One orchestrated the whole thing in the first place, allowing two people to join instead of one person because she knew Pencil was vulnerable. She convinces Pencil that her adjustments to the timeline are attempts to help, and offers her the one thing that she wants most, to go back, to fix everything, in exchange for Two and Four's power, and Pencil accepts. For 1 second, you think she's fighting back, but in reality, she just forks over the power and is poofed away to who knows where. One relishing in her power and starting to cause chaos. This is followed by the most chilling ending in BFDI's history, where an innocent Grassy sobs in the vents, getting first place, but also left lost and confused. Here's my final thoughts. The episode was phenomenal. One's insanity was portrayed perfectly, and the voice actors and animators did an amazing job overall. A few general gripes I have, though. Jumping into the whole One destroys the universe thing so early to bring hype to the tour comes with one problem for me. This is what I assume to be Tpot's climax, but wait, there's 6 more eliminations left.
There's 6 more eliminations left.
I'm worried about how a show like Tpot is going to handle having the climax not be the final challenge for once, and it's starting to seem like the final challenge will happen during the falling action, which might end up weird, but I have faith that the writers can pull through, especially considering the planned cinematic preview at AMC for Tpot 20. Huge congratulations to the BFDI team for that, by the way. As for how the episode was written, I enjoyed the tone for the most part, and especially loved how much anticipation was built up during that final scene with Pencil and One. I'm on the fence about the tone being unapologetically dark, considering Tpot's target audience, but at least they made up for it with the stuff with Tennis Ball and the Force. I found that really funny. Other than that, the entire episode felt like Gore, my comfort character, and could have used a bit more comedy to appease to small children and me, in my personal opinion, but I digress because I really loved it. Was this the best episode of Tpot? Don't get me wrong, it was amazing, but I'm not one to think that an abundance of angst makes an episode. Tpot 12 may still be my favorite, but I love this one though, and had the time of my life at the tour. Overall, the episode was groundbreaking and I really liked it, although it does bring up some concerns for me personally regarding Tpot's future, but I strongly believe the writers can clutch this and will make us a great next episode, maybe even better than this one, and I'm hoping to see it in the cinema. Again, huge props to BFDI for making that happen. It'd be magical to see the look on an original BFDI fan's face in the 2010s if you told them in the future BFDI would come to theaters nationwide. Anyways, hope you all have a great day, hope you're all excited for Tpot 20, and I hope nobody watching this decides to leak it, and Rhodonite signing out.
Elephant green screen effect.